Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Invincible Iron Man issue 10. And I overall thought this was a pretty good issue. It went in a direction that I didn't really think they were to go for, but we see kind of the aftermath of Riri taking out Lucia von Bardas. So we see Sharon Carter and Nick Fury Jr. and the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of popping up, and they get taken, and we see that Riri has now pretty much been proclaimed the Queen of Latveria, which is kind of really an interesting turn, but also because there's been a power vacuum since Doom is evidently not doing anything in Latveria at the moment, so there's like power vacuums and people need leadership. And of course, there we've got the military leader, the Green Bear there, and he's like this hardened dude who's been doing all these military actions to try and make sure that Latveria is safe and all that, and he's got a reputation with S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s like, hey, you're kind of weird with that. So they get in, and they're talking to Riri, and she's been feeding, like, the orphan kids and all that stuff, and of course Sharon's like, how did this happen? And she's like, well, you told me to come over here, and, yeah, it kind of led to, one thing led to another, and they get back to the point where she pretty much had Lucia von Bardas down, and she tried to go at her again, and she pretty much took everybody out, and then, of course, the Green Bear's like, I'll put your weapons down, and they decided to follow her as the queen, pretty much making it a hostile takeover. It's like, okay, you're gonna have a hard time kind of spinning that PR-wise. So Sharon's like, of course, what do we need to do? Because Riri's like, get me out of here. She's like, oh, God. And I'm like, this is what happens when you try to suggest things to a teenage superhero. You have to kind of like lay out a little bit more than like, go over there and kind of intimidate someone and don't take over the country because that could lead to some like geopolitical ramifications. I mean, it makes for really good comic book drama and everything, but it's like, if you're actually going to do this, you kind of want to know what you're doing. You kind of have to build up to that. And then, of course, they're like talking about what they need to do. She's giving them a list to like help these people. Sharon's like, this is like a list of demands. She's like, no, it's help. These people need help. And of course, they're going out. They're kind of figuring out how to do their things. Of course, she's pretty much presenting both sides that the Green Bear and his forces felt abandoned and S.H.I.E.L.D. feels threatened. So it's like, yeah, it's a miscommunication problem. She's like, well, where's Lucia? And so like, oh, here she is, because AI Tony was able to use her kind of shielding technology and pretty much put her in a bubble, and she's just like ranting and raving. My only real problem with her is that she didn't really feel that much of a villain, more as a obstacle for Riri to overcome. Other than that, it felt really well in the obstacle to overcome objective, but I kind of really want more villains that can be built into Riri's rogues gallery that actually kind of like build up and develop her as a character and also develop the villains, because you always kind of want that cool push and pull, so that way you have growth on both sides and it's just not, oh, you gotta overcome this obstacle just to like save the day. But I like kind of where they put this into, this wasn't just her as the obstacle, the whole situation and learning how to deal with it and become a better hero so that way she doesn't get stuck in this kind of quandary again was pretty cool. Because then we see forces coming in being like trying to liberate Latveria, and of course she diffuses the situation pretty well, has one of her soldiers translate for us saying like, listen, we understand you're frustrated, we're working on solutions on our end, just please be calm, we're not arresting you, please go back home. And they're like, okay, not expecting that. So of course they go, and she's pretty much forced Sharon into a kind of compromised position with like people with cell phones and all that. Which is my one problem with this issue, is that Riri at one point helmet comes off. And everybody's got cell phones and everything, but it's not alluded that her identity is compromised. Now granted, AI Tony could be scrubbing stuff, but it was just like really weird, like nobody knows Riri Williams is Ironheart like at the moment unless her declaring herself Queen of Latveria kind of tipped that up, because we also saw that S.H.I.E.L.D. sent Daisy Johnson, Quake, to Riri's mother's house to like ascertain what her overall objectives were. If you're like you're a member of the new royal family of Latveria, if you're going to try and make this into an embassy, she's like, I'm going to have to get my lawyer, because she's now understanding what is going to have to happen for Riri to be a superhero. So of course they work everything out. There's like a cover spread and all that. She gets back home and talks with her mother. The other problem I had with was just in one panel, her mother's face looked really kind of weird. And it's just the expression was just like kind of off for what I thought was coming on, because they were talking about everything. She was happy that she was home and all that, and asking Riri what her decision was between like the Defenders, Tony Stark, MIT. And she's like, yeah, I've seen the future. I've made my decision. And then we see AI Tony kind of looking kind of ominous at the end panel. So I'm wondering what his schemes are going to be coming to, what he's going to be doing, and what Riri's going to be doing, and where that clash is going to come. So I overall enjoyed this issue and liked kind of what they did with the whole Latveria situation, and wondering where they're going to kind of go next and what other kind of villains they're going to have in Riri's path. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.